Talkward, Cringeworthy Tales. And now, your host, weekly humorist, editor-in-chief, Marty Dundix.
Hi, and welcome to Talkward. I'm Marty Dundix, editor-in-chief of Weekly Humorist Magazine, and this is Talkward, a fun little podcast where professionally funny people come to tell awkward and cringeworthy stories. I'm very excited about our next guest because I have followed him on Twitter for a long time, and I've begged him to write articles for Weekly Humorist, which he has not done. But that's okay, because then he tweeted out something about doing a challenge where he wanted to get booked on 365 podcasts in a year. So I jumped at the chance to have Ronny Pascale on Talkward for the first episode of 2020. So thanks for being on the show,
Ronny. Thank you for having me as part of my Ronny 365 program.
Ronny 365.
Yeah, it's a crazy one.
What's happening with Ronny 365 so far? We're into the 7th day of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And what has changed from Ronny 2019 to Ronny 2020?
Ronny 2020. It's all the things that I started at the end of 2019. How do we even say that year anymore?
It seems like forever ago.
It was like 2 weeks ago, but like 2 millenniums ago. I've been I've been going to the gym a lot more. So
Is that every day?
Most days. I skip the weekends because I don't want to go.
You shouldn't dread the weekends.
Yeah.
There ought to be a good thing about weekends.
Well, I like going to the gym.
Okay.
I'm that crazy person.
What do you do at the gym?
I only bike.
Okay. I only elliptical.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like a safety.
Yeah.
I like the elliptical.
The joke that I wrote about biking at the gym is because, but the true story too is that I'm terrified of biking in New York City. And because I don't want to get hit by a car.
Or doored.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many hazards biking in New York City.
So
on the left and the right.
Yeah. The joke that I wrote was I go to the gym to bike because I don't want to bike in New York City, but I'm waiting for the day where a car crashes through the window and crushes me while I'm on a bike.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Right there in Crunch. Or wherever you go.
Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness, okay.
That's just cheap.
It's so cheap. I go to Blink.
Yeah, it's the same.
Which is, like, I think, cheaper.
Yeah. Planet Fitness was closest to my house, so I was like...
That's usually proximity.
Yeah.
Gets you.
And it was only $20 a month, but I could use any of them.
Mine's like 10. I can only use one.
This is sponsored by both Planet Fitness and Crunch.
And Blink.
And Blink, sorry, not Crunch.
And, yeah.
What other gyms are there that are cheap?
Oddly enough, do I have them here? So, I guess this is a plug. This product sent me... I came back from holiday break, so I was out of the office for 2 weeks, and I have a small little studio downtown in New York, and I went down to Maryland with the family, and I have a tiny office, and I'm constantly, I'm also a hoarder, so I'm constantly getting stuff, toys, finding stuff, bringing it into the office. Maybe I can use that. Down the road, I'm going to need this. It's all of the when you watch these terrible hoarding shows on television and you see these people with just like horrible, destructive lives. I can self-identify with everything. Like I can. It makes sense to me. I'm like, yeah, obviously she needs all those things. She might need one, right? So I'm always collecting stuff I don't need, and then I try to purge, and I have this huge purging day. So I came with this great idea that I was going to clear out my office more after the holidays, and I come in and I get all this mail, and one thing is this gigantic box of cheese wisps, which is a snack treat from a company that makes wisps, and I had met somebody at a party, and I told them that I had an office, and they were like, oh, do you need snacks? And I go, I don't know, I guess. And she's like, send me your address. And they sent me 6 boxes, and each box has like 200 packages of wisps. So I had this, they were ever, like, as I was getting rid of all the things in my office for 2020, I had all of this more stuff. I'm like, how did I accumulate stuff when I wasn't even here?
Are they good? I'm not allowed to ask that.
If you're a fan of cheese, so these are, I guess, for low-carb people.
Gotcha.
And it's just cheese. So it's like cheese that's been, like, flattened into a chip. And so it's very low-carb, it's very high-protein, it's all just cheese. So these are Parmesan. I gave away 6 boxes of these yesterday in the office. Everybody took them.
You should give them to all your guests for the rest of the year.
There you go.
I don't. Thank you.
There you go, Ronny.
I wasn't asking,
Ronny,
but
there's cheddar or there's Parmesan.
I'm just going to crunch into the microphone.
You should. You have to be a big cheese fan. I
like cheese.
I guess they're South Beach friendly. They're like low-carb friendly.
My stepfather is a pizza maker, so I grew up around cheese.
He makes pizza?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I grew up only eating pizza.
Like, he sells pizza?
He makes it, yeah. Makes it, sells it.
So, he has, like, a pizza place?
Yeah.
What's the pizza place called?
It's called Only the Best. It's in West Haven, Connecticut, a little suburb of New Haven.
So, Connecticut pizza, people will argue, is the best pizza.
Yes.
So I've met people from Connecticut, New Haven, Hartford, and they yell at New Yorkers about, because New Yorker, obviously, we have the best pizza, obviously. And then these folks from Connecticut are constantly like, no, you got to try this New Haven slice. You're like, what are you talking about?
New Haven.
What makes Connecticut pizza any good? Like, it's not that I'm saying it's not, but what is it?
We are jerks about our pizza, I guess. Also, in New Haven, we don't call it pizza, we call it abits.
Okay.
It's thinner and it's burnt, so it just tastes good.
So is it more thin crust crispy? Because you go to Chicago, and Chicago-style pizza is ridiculous. It's like this tomato soup thing. You can't even eat it.
The first time I've only had Chicago pizza in Chicago once, and I never had it, didn't know the etiquette behind it.
Yeah.
I go to pick it up, and the bartender yells at me, and he goes, "Might want to fork and knife it, bro."
Yeah.
And I was like, that phrase will never leave my brain. In New Haven, you
pick it up
slam it
like
into
a regular
your face.
person.
Yeah.
Do you fold?
I do.
I fold.
Yeah.
It's more of a convenience thing.
It's good. It's delicious.
So, you're a joke writer primarily.
Yes.
So you're a musical comedian. Improviser. You do sketch. You write sketch.
Write sketch.
You perform at, I think, the Pit.
Yeah, I perform at the Pit. And then I've done a whole bunch. I used to tour as an improviser.
So how does that work? How do you tour as an improviser?
Well, honestly,
I know stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
You tour, you go to the clubs, you do the thing. If you're an improviser, do you tour with a troupe?
Yeah, I had two other guys that would come with me too.
Okay.
The three of us, and we had the unfortunate name of Kibbles and Bits as a group name.
It's a good name. I mean, you remember it.
Yeah. I was always terrified that we were going to get.
Wait, there's only two. There's only two people. So who got left out? Right, but if you're Kibbles and Bits, I guess Bits.
Well, one of us was
Bits.
Kibbles and Bits, I guess, was the joke that we started doing. And then we toured around. We did like Boston, Washington D.C., Baltimore, and then separately I did L.A. and Alaska with someone else.
L.A. and Alaska.
I did Alaska. Alaska was so fun.
What's it like to tour as an improviser in Alaska? Like, what kind of places are you doing? Like theaters?
I just did one.
Bars?
In Alaska, I did it was Alaska State Improv Festival.
Oh, okay.
Which was shortened to As If, which was pretty cute, I guess.
Yeah.
No, it was a festival, and they flew me in to teach improv and do one show. And they paid me a decent amount of money. I think I lost money on the whole endeavor, but like not as much as I should have lost.
Isn't that funny that, and I totally can relate to, you're doing something you love and you're trying to make money, so the success is, well, I didn't lose all of the money.
Yeah.
I almost broke even, so it's a win.
I think it's a win because I got to do a lot of stuff I would never do.
Yeah.
I got to like touch a glacier, which is probably not good for the environment.
No.
I got to go on a whale cruise.
Did you see lots of stuff?
Yeah.
Whales?
Yeah, before the whale cruise, they were like, you're not going to see any. It's not whale season. And I think they do that.
They're all on vacation.
Yeah.
They're all in Florida.
They're in Florida. They're sunning their buns. I think they intentionally do that so you don't have any expectations. So if you don't see a whale, they don't like, I want my money back. But we saw a lot of whales. There was a lot of, I'm mixing up names, orcas and blue whales.
I'm going to fact check this.
Yeah.
So
are those the two different kinds?
They sound accurate, sure.
Yeah, and then we saw like sea lions and eagles, and it was really cool.
You were the tour group?
It was all the improvisers rented a boat and hired a tour.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Is that annoying, being around a ton of improvisers all the time? Yes. Are they always on? Are they constantly doing bits and characters and... You're just like, hey, turn it off.
Well, I think there's... I think stand-ups and improvisers are both always on, but they're both always on differently. And I think that I'm like somewhere... What is that like circle when the two...
You're a Venn? You're in the
middle?
Venn?
Yeah. I'm somewhere in the middle, but like I don't really fit in with either, but I fit in with both pretty well.
Okay.
I
You can tolerate them both.
Yeah, but also can't tolerate either of them at the same time.
Have you continued touring with improv?
I kind of retired improv.
Okay.
Outright.
It's over.
Yeah, I never liked doing it a whole lot. My palms just got sweaty even thinking about it. Yeah, improv was always fun for me, but...
Can I have a suggestion for this interview?
Yeah.
Let's start something. Apple.
Awkwardness. Apple. Apple makes me think of this one time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I hated improvising because there's so many rules up behind it. And
Yeah, I never really... I mean, I used to love going to UCB in Chelsea under Gristides. Like, I spent a lot of
Rest
time...
in peace.
Right? That was such a great theater. It was It was like very rock and roll, and it was dungy, dirty. And they had this fun parties, and it was just kind of like... And then it all kind of washed away when it became... I mean, the theater now is very far away.
Yeah, it's hard to get to.
It's very difficult to get to, and it doesn't have that sort of hang.
No.
It's not a theater you can just hang in. It's like, this is the area that you go into before you go into your nice seats, and then you leave, and then
They like usher you in and out very quickly now.
Yeah, so it doesn't have that kind of chill.
Although, I'm starting... Right after I leave here, I'm going to start UCB 201 sketch class.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Finally doing it there.
Is that in a training center?
Yeah.
Where's that?
38th Street, I think.
How long have you been doing the UCB classes?
I just started UCB.
Okay, so after doing all that improv,
and
being a touring improv person, you're actually taking classes now.
Yeah.
And are you relearning something that you thought you knew already, and now you're like, oh, I've been doing this completely wrong?
So yeah, kind of. So I took all my classes years ago at the Pit and at the Magnet.
Okay.
And what I think I did wrong was I did them all back to back to back. And so I don't know that it all like settled into my brain. And I don't think I like did the process the right way. Or like sit down, write a sketch every day or whatever you should be doing. And took a lot of time off. And what I want to be doing is writing every day. I kick myself because... a TV show, a famous TV show, had an open submission on their packets in September. And I should have had something ready. I had nothing. Yeah. And I was like, this was the one year they've ever said anyone could submit. Yeah. And I won't say what show that is, but it's a famous one. And I was just like, oh, that's a show that I want to write for.
You can say it. It's fine.
SNL.
SNL. Okay. That's a biggie.
Yeah. But I don't know, like, if I'm allowed to give away industry secrets.
I feel like, and maybe I think it's maybe because people want the packet process to be more open. I'm seeing a lot more people talking about it on Twitter with like a lot more shows, with late night shows and a lot of the new stuff on like Netflix. Wherever someone will say accepting packets now for this, or like if you want help. From someone who has worked on this show, so it's like there's more communication about because I think the packet process used to be so secretive.
Yeah, it's very secretive.
Like, oh, there's a packet. Oh, I didn't hear. How do I get in there?
And I always find out the last day before submission.
Like, oh, those were due last week. You're done.
Yeah, and there's been a few times where I find out after, and I'm like, oh, I'll send it anyway and see what they say, and it's usually like, no thanks.
This was not. Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time.
So now do you have a bunch of stuff saved up?
Well, that's the whole reason that I'm retaking UCB classes. Well, taking UCB now because I'm like, okay, this is forcing me to write. And so in October, I started a monthly show at the Pit where I got friends together. I picked 5 friends, and they all wrote one sketch with me each, so they're all just responsible for doing one live sketch. Okay. And then I'm responsible for writing and editing and putting together a show with 5 sketches. So every month that I have 5 new ones. And
it's a lot of content.
Yeah. And then, like, if there's one I like each show, I'm like, cool, happy.
Do you develop characters?
I need to start doing that better. It's been a little premise-heavy so far.
Are all your characters just basically versions of yourself?
Yeah, 100. In all the sketches that just says Ronny for the character name.
Don't even change it. I can't. Maybe Remy.
Yeah.
Make me from Europe.
Yeah. Johnny is a common one.
Okay, Johnny.
Yeah, do Johnny. Anything, or Randy. Anything.
Things have to have a Y and the end.
Yeah.
Have to.
Just 5 letters.
You can't be a Phil.
No, I'm not a Phil.
Can't be a Phil.
No, unless you're like Phil McCracken.
That's good.
That's a joke that I
So you write a lot of jokes. I'm impressed by your output of jokes. You're a good joke writer.
Thank you.
I think that's a very specific language to understand because people can do maybe improv. They can be YouTube celebrities, quote unquote, YouTube comedians. But like having the ability to structure a joke, and Twitter's really good for this because of the character limitations, right? So it's like you have to be able to make your joke and you have to be able to do it in this many characters. And you have to make it look like you are not writing something short, on purpose. Yeah. Like it's a joke that works, but it doesn't look like you've crammed it. Yeah. People that use like, I don't know, abbreviations or weird punctuation to make a joke work, if it looks like it's effortlessly written at the character limit, then it reads just like a real gag. Yeah. So how many jokes do you write a day?
I don't have a set number, but I've been forcing myself to do more. And also trying to not write as many personal jokes, which I think personal jokes are great, but I've been trying to write more topical jokes too about the news. The whole reason I started tweeting is because, going back to the packet thing, I don't know if this is even true. I've never even looked into it, but I was told Jimmy Kimmel only hires his writers based off Twitter feed.
Really?
Yeah, this was like 5-6 years ago, so I don't know if that's true, but I was like, oh, good idea. So I started tweeting a lot. And the thing that was great about Twitter for me was I actually liked Twitter better when it had the 128 characters. Yeah. And when they doubled it, I was like, oh, no.
I don't need all those characters.
Yeah, now it's making me, like, be lazier, actually. Yeah. And so all of my jokes just come about, like, generally in regular conversation. I'm that guy who, like, what did I say to this person that I could tweet?
Good.
That's pretty good.
Do you put everything in drafts first? Do you put everything in, like, notes?
I just try to live tweet it, like, right after. Although a stand-up bit that I do is called Tweet It or Delete It. And I read old tweets, but I tell people that I haven't tweeted these yet. These are my Twitter drafts. Should I tweet it or delete it? But it's always stuff that I've already tweeted.
You're like, I already tweeted this. Everybody hated it. Spoiler alert, they didn't do well.
I'm trying to, like, see what I can resurrect.
I noticed that. I was going through your feed, and you were retweeting stuff from 2016.
Yeah.
And those were good jokes.
Thank you. Yeah, they were jokes that did not do well that I was curious as to why.
It's always, I find that for weekly humorous stuff, a lot of times it's just timing. Like I'll have a cartoon that I'll put it on Instagram last year, but it depends on the time of day. And I'm like, that cartoon was really funny. Oh, something's relevant happening. I'll post it again. And it'll go from, under 100 to 2,000. Yeah. And you're like, it's just the time of day. It's just when people are checking. Yeah. And it's just more people are looking at you now. Like 2 years ago, people weren't looking. And now I'm popping up in feeds. And that's kind of like with you. Like, the more followers that are interacting with you, the algorithm, it's all about that algorithm.
That's what I was just going to say. I hate the algorithm.
Bumps you to the top. Yeah. So there's certain people that I like that Twitter keeps on showing me more of them, which I guess is fun. It's like, hey, if you like this, maybe you'll like this. So it's like I get to see the same people, but I get to see them all the time instead of maybe just seeing too much clutter. Mm-hmm. I don't know how they organize it, but I definitely see your stuff a lot pop up. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of Ginny Hogan. Okay. Because I think she's funny, and I think
she is funny.
I like her stuff, so I get to see more of her stuff, which is great. And then other people I never see, which is fine, because obviously they're terrible.
That's all you need. It's two of us.
It's just Twitter that has... I think I have about 6 people that write really good jokes that I'm constantly like, oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's hilarious. But it's all the same people, which is great.
Yeah. Are they all New York comedians? Or
who do I really like in L.A.? I don't know. I feel like the perfect tweet joke writer is Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, he's great.
It just seems effortless. It's always like that perfect joke formula where it's like something current and then something else pop, culture relevant, and then he puts it together and he makes somehow a perfect double joke of it, and he does it in the character limit without it seeming forced. Yeah, and he does it perfectly. He's great.
Have you been to his live show?
You should write to that show.
Yeah, I would love to.
Okay.
Have you been to the live show?
Colbert's live show?
Yeah.
No.
It's astounding. There's like a 1-hour concert before every show. His live band performs like
like the taping of the TV show.
Yeah.
I have not been to a taping of the TV show.
Oh, it's so good. Go to it.
I went to...
Also, Colbert should hire me.
Just putting that out there.
I'm just putting it out there.
If you're listening, Colbert, and you're checking out some of the new sexy videos that we're doing here today, this guy... Ronny Pascale or Pasquale
Or Pascale.
or Pascal.
I don't care.
If it's, I was thinking when you said Pasquale, is that an explorer or a discoverer? Oh, that was Pastor? No.
There's so many. No, Pastor.
Did he discover something?
I don't know. There's so many different people with this name, and it always pops up someone else too.
Yeah.
But like to go back real quick,
We can do that.
The difference between yesterday, I was doing stand up. I forgot to tell a joke that set up a whole bunch of things, and I was like, in the moment, I was like, "Oh, I can't rewind this. This is not a Netflix special or anything like that."
It would be funny if you just said, "Okay, everybody,
Rewind.
I got to mention one thing for the next 25 minutes to make any sense."
Yeah,
Okay. When I was a child, I had this kind of dog.
yeah.
Okay. We're going to keep going. What was the detail you forgot?
Yeah, well, for 2019 and 2020 me, 2020 me is just trying to say what I want to do because I was always afraid to like admit that I want to write for SNL or I want to do this because I was like, people are going to poop on that. I don't know if I could swear.
You can't.
Oh, great. People are going to shit on that.
Oh my god.
Well, I got yelled at for saying shit on a podcast the other
Really?
day. Yeah.
Censors.
Afterwards, the producer was like, you can't say the S word.
The S word.
Yeah, he called it the S word.
And you could say shit on like in like greeting cards now. Like it's not even a word anymore.
Yeah, so I was just like, you know what? I'll just say what I want to do and manifest it. So I do want to write for Colbert, so hire me.
It's like a vision board. It's like an audio vision board.
It is.
If you say it out loud, it can probably it might happen.
Yeah.
It's more likely to happen than not happen if you don't keep it in.
Yeah, because like in our line of work, we have friends who do all this stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I didn't know you want to write for our show. Let's put you on the show or something."
You're like, "Oh, I wasn't putting out the vibes of desperation enough."
I'm a poor comedian. Of course I want to write.
I know, obviously.
Yeah.
But that also has to be, if you have a job like that, like a big job like that, you know everybody just wants a job.
Yeah.
There.
Everyone wants those jobs.
Like, you'd have to just stop talking to all of your desperate poor comedian friends.
Yeah, stop going to open mics.
Absolutely.
Oh, boy. That is one thing I'm afraid to do.
So you're stand-up.
I just started doing stand-up.
Oh, that's exciting. So I produce a show called Guaranteed Delivery, which is like a monthly, like 5 or 6 comics on like a showcase. It's fun. I've been going to stand up for years, and I just had the opportunity I had a space that I got to produce a show, and I've been going to stand up for years, and I had friends that all did stand up, and it's fun. The stand up world is exciting and fun to go see comics, but it's also so risky, and you feel so like, oh, how bad is, are they going to be okay? So what's it like starting out doing stand up?
I think I got lucky in that I did improv first. So
okay, you're prepared.
Yeah, kind of. I'm both a joke writer and a performer already. So for me, it's just the thing that I realized that I need to do better at is memorize my jokes. I've been walking on stage just holding set lists of my jokes.
Yeah,
kind of
people
thing.
do. People have notebooks sometimes, but.
And I was like, you know what? SNL has cue cards, and there's always something.
But once you get into that rhythm where you have your material down and you can perform it as if you're coming up with it off the top of your head, then you'll be fine.
Yeah. I was telling a friend after a show, because yesterday I had a show last night.
Where?
At the Pit Loft.
Okay. Yeah, Pit Loft's great.
Pit Loft. Yeah, that's cool. And I opened as the host, did 9 or 10 minutes up top. Like 3 or 4 minutes was crowd work. 6 minutes was just reading old tweets kind of thing.
9 minutes is a long time.
Yeah. And I didn't feel like I was like dying. The audience was very small. There was like 4 non-performers in the audience.
Small audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fine though. 2 of them hung and talked to us for like an hour after the show. So I was like, you know what? Whatever.
Yeah.
It was fun. But what I realized that I was doing, what was I going to say? My brain is just not working right now.
It's because you're only having 1 cup of coffee a day, Ronny.
This is my first cup of coffee today.
You need more than that. I need like 3 to get out of bed.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just realized that I need to like be more confident in like the way that I'm telling my jokes. And then the moment I was like, yeah, this is what's wrong right now.
Because you can have a really good joke, and you can tell it, and everybody won't laugh because you didn't tell it good.
Yeah.
But it's a good joke because of the stage presence. And you can have a bad joke, but because you're confident and you're hitting the timing, people will laugh because they're programmed to laugh at that point where they think that the punchline's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, have you ever seen good performers? She's like, that joke wasn't great, but like, man, I laughed my ass off at that joke.
Yeah.
And then other people, I was like, God, that was a hilarious joke, but they kind of read it in such a way that they got no reaction.
Yeah.
So there's that. You have to learn. That's something that people have to learn, and it's just by doing constantly.
Yeah, I have one joke that I've realized consistently hits hard if I say it right, and I'm just like, but it's also like not my like clearest.
What's the joke?
It's a joke about depression, and it's and I know I'm getting lonelier because I don't watch porn anymore. I masturbate to the idea of a committed relationship. And that joke, I stumbled. Thank you. I stumble on that joke a lot, and I'm like, if I stick the landing, that joke always does well.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this nerdy thing. I don't know if anyone else does this. So I'm a stat nerd, baseball specifically.
Okay.
But like before advanced analytics, all of that hurts my brain. And so what I've done since started doing stand-up was I made a spreadsheet of all my jokes, and then I listened to the live recording after, and I rate the audience's reaction to them all. So all my jokes are getting like numerical scores. And
what's the score? Is it to 10?
Yeah, 0 to 10.
Do you have a lot of 2s?
Yeah, there's a lot of 2s, a lot of 3s.
Do you have any 0s?
Yeah, there was one joke that I had.
What's a 0 joke? Can you tell me a 0 joke?
Yeah. I bet Jacques Cousteau's childhood nickname was Jocktopus.
I think that's funny.
What I found out is no one knows who Jacques Cousteau is.
Oh.
And I was like, Jacques Cousteau, the deep sea diver,
yeah.
Jocktopus. I explained that joke on stage the other day, and just crickets.
Maybe you have to prep it by introducing who Jacques Cousteau is?
Yeah.
Jacques Cousteau, famous underwater explorer.
From like the 20s.
I bet his childhood name would be Jocktopus. Yeah. And then people would be like, I don't like learning.
Yeah, still no. Get that out.
Don't tell me facts I have to remember.
That was part of my tweet it or delete it, and that's been consistently deleted. I was like, I already tweeted it.
I like that one.
Thank you.
What's a 10? No, what's a 6?
I don't think I have a 10.
What's a 6?
A 6 that I got. This one's consistently a 6, but this one also takes the audience a second. I've noticed. Is I'm still waiting for my life coach to put me in the game.
It's good.
Yeah, the audience takes a second, and then there's always a delayed laugh on that one.
That sounds like it could also be like a T-shirt.
Yeah,
like that's like a put that on a mug kind of a thing. I think I was looking up some of your jokes, and there was a joke that I thought was really funny, and it was about sexting. Can you tell that joke?
Was it I have a very active sex life?
Yes.
Yeah,
and that's funny.
Last night, I rewrote part of my set, like reordered everything, and put that on a different page, and I forgot to tell that joke. And then when I came back to close the show, I was like, I forgot 5 jokes, so we're going to just say those now. So I did a mini set after that.
It's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was like, I can do whatever I want. This is my show.
You got verified on Twitter.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
By accident.
Did they think you were somebody famous?
I think so. No, So, I don't know. Do you remember At Midnight?
Mm-hmm.
I used to tweet at them all the time. They would retweet me a bunch.
Yeah.
And by doing that, a lot of publications, I don't know if this is still a thing.
Oh, they all embed your tweets.
Yeah, they embed my tweets. So it looked like I had written jokes for, and big things were using me. Like BuzzFeed used me a lot.
Yeah.
Comedy Central used me a lot.
Oh, that's deserved. You were verifiable.
Yeah, thank you. And also, I was the associate artistic director at the Pit at that
cool.
point. So I had defensible, credits. And so...
You're a person of note.
Yeah. Well, that's not how they pick it. It's a person who is at the risk of being impersonated.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Got a lot of Ronny Pascale wannabes out there.
Yeah, there are. There's one other Ronny Pascale who is a professional soccer player.
Oh.
And I want to...
We got to make sure that you guys are separate.
Yeah.
Does he spell his name the same way you spell yours?
No, thankfully. He spells it Ronnie.
Yeah. Because then you would have had to have Ronny Pascale _1.
Yeah.
And it's a game changer.
It is a game changer.
I know.
I would just pick a unique name.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we're a little bit different.
So you started the UCB classes.
Yep, that's today.
Where you're relearning how to do something that you've already been paid to do.
Yep.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
That's like someone who's like a painter going back to art school.
Yeah.
And Are you going to challenge the instructors at all?
No.
Okay.
I'm actually going to like try to understand because they have a different UCB has got a little bit different model than I've ever done too. So you're never done learning.
So I guess I just go to improv and I don't understand necessarily the formula. I notice that it's all kind of in a formulaic way. Mm-hmm. The suggestion leads to this, leads to that. Is that Herald?
It's all different. It depends on where you're going. UCB is pretty strictly Herald.
Is there a mathematical type formula that's like a diagram that's like you get this and this triggers this and this triggers this?
Probably. I think it's also that's mental for everyone of like this word makes me think of this childhood memory, so let's do improv about that.
Yeah.
So UCB is a little bit more strict about like what their like curriculum is, so I'm excited about being pushed a little harder.
It seems like being a comedian or an improv person helps with being booked to be an actor in things.
Yeah, that's another
thing. People want improv people to be able to create their own comedy. It's like, yeah, this is the script. Maybe you could also write some of the script for us because we're in need of some more jokes. So you just do it.
Like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, you just keep on talking.
Yeah, just talk. We'll cut it out. We'll edit it up and make it nice.
And how long have you been in New York? You came from Connecticut?
Yeah, I came from Connecticut. I moved here for 1 month in 2004. Was terrified. Moved back. I was 19 then, and I just wasn't ready for the big city life. And then I moved here in 2012, February. Ooh, so it's just about my, 8 year now? But I moved to Los Angeles for a year in the middle, because I'm a dum-dum.
So people don't like Los Angeles, and I've only gone out for extended amounts of time, like 2 weeks-ish. Mm-hmm. And then it's always so romantic to be there for like a week or two.
Yeah.
And like you never want to come home, but then you do. But then the people that move there hate it, or they don't, or they love it. But there's never like a in between. It's not like it's fine.
I loved it. I didn't want to come back, but I did at the same time.
So you just missed the East Coast?
So
the weather is so nice.
It's so perfect,
and everyone's so like happy because the weather is so nice. So like the mood is just like so chill.
Yeah, the cool thing about LA that's different about New York is that here I feel like I know this is wrong, but I feel like I'm expected to do 3 or 4 improv shows a night because everything's so close to each other.
Yeah.
Like all the improv theaters are 2 miles total away from each other, if that. In LA, everything's so spread out. So like if you do 1 show a night, you're like, cool, did it. Here I'm like, oh.
You want to do more than 1 improv show a night in New York?
No, I don't want to,
Isn't
but
that exhausting?
I feel like I'm expected to.
Oh.
Yeah, it's very exhausting.
No. And then I see there's so many stand-ups hop to like 5 mics in a night.
No. My max, I did 2 stand-up shows in one night once, and my brain exploded. And I did the same set both times.
Were they close by?
Yeah, they were like, one was at the pit main stage and one was at the pit loft, so...
Really mixing it up there.
Yeah, it was, a 15-minute walk? But it was a different audience for both, so...
That's good.
Yeah. One was a depression-based show, and then I just used the same jokes later on for a regular show.
Well, you really can't tell sometimes.
No, I was like, they're all still funny jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. It's an angle.
Life is sad.
So do you have any awkward or cringeworthy stories?
Yeah, I got all kinds.
Well, tell me one.
Give me a 1-word suggestion to get started.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Sponsored by Wisps.
Ooh, Wisps.
Cheese snacks.
Yeah, let's see. What's awkward? We could even talk about, like, awkward performance. This is not cheese-related.
We can.
Yeah.
We can.
So, still in Connecticut, I knew I wanted to do something in this field, but I didn't know what. So, I decided that I was going to go to Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Okay.
I had this dumb idea that I was going to be a rock radio DJ growing up.
I love radio. I love radio.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's fun. I used to work in radio, and radio is so much fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And microphones are fun, and talking up songs are fun.
Yeah.
And opening up, people got to head down to the Honda dealership. We're going to be giving away a car.
Get those cars.
So you were going to be a radio DJ.
I wanted to, and the downside of Connecticut...
What was your favorite radio station in Connecticut growing up?
The Rock 106.9 WCCC.
Nice.
Do you know of it?
I don't. I know that mine was... I was down in Maryland, so it was WHFS, 99.1 HFS.
Gotcha. Well, at CCC, it was a rock radio station. It was like metal and punk mostly. And I got to intern for 2 days on a radio show that was the show Howard Stern had started, but like moved on from. So I was like, I kind of worked on the same show as he did. But then when he left Connecticut, he was like on to bigger and better things. So I went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting, and the thing they make you do as part of the curriculum is also do on-air acting as like a news host.
Okay.
And I had not, it was not even in like my brain vocabulary. I grew up very shy, so much so that I've told this story a few times recently, is that when I was doing karate in like first grade, kindergarten time, I was so afraid of being around other kids that my mother had to pay the instructor to teach me solo karate classes. And I was like,
no one look at me.
Yeah, no one look at me. Get to my yellow belt. So Connecticut.
Did you break the board okay?
No, I didn't go far in karate.
I did bad. I did like very preliminary. I think I got to yellow and then I kind of stopped.
Yeah, same.
And it was like everybody had to watch you break the board. Yeah. So much pressure.
I don't remember even having to do that.
I had to break the board. I don't think I didn't break the board.
Yeah, I think I would have like hurt my
hand. I think eventually they kind of like pre-break it for you, and they're like, "Hey, good job! Yay, get out of here! You're done."
With like a little slit down the middle.
It's been scored quite a bit.
Yeah. Connecticut School of Broadcasting, and then we have to do an on-air interview.
Okay.
But we have to do them as characters.
Ah.
And I was just like, ugh. So my partner and I decided that we were going to, I don't remember who was which, but one of us was going to be Marilyn Manson and one of us would be Trent Reznor.
Okay.
So we dressed up in gothic clothes and ripped up like fishnets, and this is like the height of Hot Topic era.
Yeah.
And we get into the studio to do our little like screen test, and this was all like localized, and I think they broadcast it on public access.
Okay.
So just for like little New Haven people. So maybe like 20 or 30 people saw this. But we sit down and then they're like, are you good? Give us water. And they're like, all right, we're going live in 3, 2. And they do that whole pointy thing. And then my co-host starts talking and I just freeze.
And you are which character?
I don't remember. One of us was one, but I was like, you know what? In the moment, I was just like, I don't know what's going on. Oh, man, I'm getting sweaty palms thinking about it.
You're having flashbacks.
Yeah, I'm having a flashback right now. So I just sat there in silence, and then he's, like, asking me questions, and I am just silent and sweating, and I just got up and walked out.
There you go.
Yeah.
Show over.
Yeah.
And one of you was Trent Reznor, and the other one was?
Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are references that aged well.
Yes, very. And it's interesting because you didn't really, it wasn't like Abe Lincoln interviewing Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
It was like two people who
similar
maybe could have hung out.
I think they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just like walked out and then never came back.
They could have shared clothes.
Yeah, they probably did.
Yeah.
I could see them doing that.
Yeah.
I'd watch them do an acoustic show together.
Yeah, definitely. So you walked out, then did you never go back again?
Never went back again.
Never went back to that school?
Never went back to the school, just stopped doing it.
That's how you left college.
I dropped out of college 3 times, so that was one of them.
What were the other 2 times?
I was going to College in White Plains, New York.
Is that Berklee College of Music?
No. This is I should have gone there. I applied to go there, and they just never heard back from them. They just probably looked at my resume, and they're like, no. Berklee College is a business school in White Plains, New York. And that one, I don't remember why I dropped out. I just stopped going. Every time college just stopped going.
You ghosted college.
I ghosted college 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was Berkeley, and then I went back to school in New Haven for Yale. I didn't go to Yale. I took a summer class at Yale once for a music class, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to say I went to Yale.
I went to Yale.
I
used the bathroom there once.
Yeah, I went to Yale.
It's very nice.
Yale? Yeah.
Yale bathroom.
It's a nice little area.
Yeah.
Little cluster of nice in New Haven.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and then another time I was doing improv. The first time I tried to do improv was in New Haven, and I was mortified about going on stage and really just trying to push myself. Very similar story, and the teacher kept on just going like, you're a writer, you'll be fine up there. and he was kind of a jerk. And we had to do a fake commercial for a product he was going to give us.
Okay.
And there is a soup called cock soup. This is
Right.
a real thing.
I've seen the cock soup.
Yeah.
It has like a rooster on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. He gave us that, and we had to do a commercial for that, an improvised commercial. And I was just like, I don't know what to talk about. So we were just making a lot of dick jokes.
Yeah.
And then he got angry at us. And then
He wasn't expecting this?
No. Well, I recently looked this teacher up.
Yeah.
And he has all these, like, shirtless pictures on Facebook that are very silly.
Okay.
I've been wanting to, like, publish them and joke about it, like, ha ha ha, look at this guy. But I was like, I'm not mean-spirited like that. So, yeah. And then I walked out of that. I swear to you, did not go to another class after cock soup. So I don't know why I became an improviser.
Well, I'm happy you haven't gotten up and walked out of this yet.
Not yet.
You
I
haven't
hated
ghosted.
it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
This is a success just because you haven't left yet.
Yes.
Can you do an improvised ad for the Wisps Parmesan cheese snacks that you have in front of you?
These are delicious. What are these? Wisps?
It's pretty good.
Thank you.
What did you just whisper into the mic? That they're
Whisper.
delicious?
Whispering willows. Only 100 calories. Total fat 7 grams. Saturated fat 23%.
It's a lot of cholesterol too. Like I'm trying.
7%. That's not healthy for you.
Right?
These aren't necessarily healthy.
Sorry, guys. You sent them to me, but you didn't pay me any money, so I'm gonna read the nutritional information.
It actually never says anywhere that these are healthy. It just says that they are in portion size.
Right.
It doesn't even say portion size, but that's what they're advertising.
Right.
You know what? Good for them.
Yeah.
Someone's going to look at this, and the white packaging implies that it's healthy.
Right.
So,
Or organic.
Or organic. I don't know. It's probably not bad, though, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I gave them all away.
I've been trying to, like, watch what I eat lately.
I watch it go into my mouth.
Watch it go out my butt.
Oh, man.
On that note, I quit comedy.
We're both going to get up and ghost this interview.
Oh, man.
We're out. I'm sorry. This is done.
I was thinking about making a dating podcast called Ghost Stories.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's something that I did notice on your Twitter. You made a joke about rematching with people multiple times on dating apps in New York City. I've been on dating sites since they created dating sites. So the first dating site I think was like Match.
Yeah.
And that was I think I joined Match in maybe 2003.
Okay.
So I've been here since 2002. Mm-hmm. And I've absolutely matched and gone out with people more than one time over this time period. And I mean, between the Hinge and the Tinder and the Bumble, I matched up with somebody on 4 different dating apps, and we never went out. And every like 6 months, she'd pop up again, and she lives like one neighborhood away from me.
Oh no!
And we keep getting closer to like, maybe we'll, probably not. No, probably not. No enthusiasm.
Yeah, in that Twitter thread, someone that I had matched with twice, and then I'd go through the phase of delete it.
I delete them all.
Bring them back. Yeah, so it's like 1 week on, 1 week off kind of thing. And then like you balance which ones you're using because you're like, I'm superstitious. Like this one works better about this thing.
Yeah, I'm on. And then you go on Happen. Have you ever been on Happen?
Like maybe a week.
Which is like proximity based.
Yeah.
It's creepy. It's
that
like
one's creepy for
people
me.
you crossed paths with today. You crossed paths with outside of your office. You've crossed paths with them 45 times. You're like, who is this person?
What happens if you live in like middle America with like a town of like 1,000?
You never cross paths with anybody.
Yeah, or like your cousin which is fine. Cousin dating I'm not frowning on that.
Right. Well, I mean, you're from New Haven, so.
New Haven. Yeah, you maybe think of 2 more awkward stories, and they're both short, so.
Okay,
if
sure.
You want 'em.
Please tell me some more awkward stories.
My first online date was in 1996 when I was 11 years old. I know this sounds gross. It's not.
Sounds slightly inappropriate.
Sounds scandalous.
A little bit.
We met in an AOL chat room for Connecticut kids. She was the same age as me.
Okay, that makes this story slightly better.
Slightly better. And we chatted for like 6 months.
Aw.
And then one day we were just like, we should meet up. I don't remember who initiated what, but
Like a roller rink? Like, where'd you go?
Yeah.
Where do 11-year-old kids meet?
Yeah, we decided we were going to go to a movie. But
Okay.
both of our moms said the same thing, and it's we are going to.
Okay.
So my first date ever was me and her, both our moms sitting on either side of us, and we were watching Con Air.
Con Air?
Yeah. Terrible first date movie.
Yeah, really.
Really bad. And then...
Nick Cage
Yeah.
ushered you into the dating world.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle was in that movie.
Yeah.
No one remembers that.
Yeah.
And John Malkovich and Steve Buscemi.
And who was... Elizabeth Potter? No. Who was the blonde wife?
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, what's his face? John Cusack was...
That's right. John Cusack was in that.
Yeah, he wasn't on the plane, so
he was the agent, so he was on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he got his car lifted up, right?
Right.
And then another awkward dating story.
Well, how did that date end? You can't just jump.
We sat there. Her mom kept on going, put your arm around her.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
I never did it. I was afraid to be close to her.
Your mom was telling you...
No, her mom.
Her mom was telling you...
Go and put your arm around
to touch your daughter.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Oh, I forgot a little detail about this. My brother was also there.
That's a big detail.
That's a big detail. Because that didn't come into play until the second half of this date.
Okay, what happened?
So we're watching Con Air, and then I was like, great, movie's over. We get to, go our separate ways now.
Okay.
And then, I don't remember, I think it was my mother. My mom was like, let's go get food. And down the street from the movie theater was a Taco Bell. And I was like, all right, cool, let's go to Taco Bell. And my mom doesn't know... I don't think she understands years, if that makes any sense. So her mom was like, oh, I'm from Baltimore. And I was like, oh, Babe Ruth is from Baltimore, being a baseball nerd. And my mom was like, very quickly to her, oh, did you know Babe Ruth? Babe Ruth died in 1951. I was like, oh, yeah. But anyway, we're sitting there. And I'm very, trying not to make conversation with her because I don't know what to do as an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
And my brother and I just started throwing hot sauce packets at each other.
It's good.
Yep.
It worked out.
And then we didn't see each other because she ended up moving away to Texas because her dad got a job.
That's always how young love goes.
Well, there was a second date, actually, years later.
Years later?
Many years later.
How many years? You were 11 on the first one.
So it was about 10 or 11 years later.
Wow.
I was dating someone in the town this girl was from.
Okay.
And then they had a mutual friend who passed away.
Oh.
And so...
This story just got kind of bummed out the story.
I'm sorry. And then she came back to town to go to the funeral. And so my girlfriend, who I was actual girlfriend, was like, hey, we should take her out to dinner. So we went to this fancy restaurant, but they sat us at a kid's table.
Okay.
And we knew it was a kid's table because they had paper white tablecloths with crayons.
That's nice.
So we were just drawing on a table, and my girlfriend was really frustrated that we were drawing on the table.
Okay.
But I was like, no, that's what we're expected to do.
So it was your girlfriend and the girl that you went on the first date with when you were 11, and then you.
Yeah.
And you and the first girlfriend were kind of having too much fun drawing.
Yeah.
And your real girlfriend was mad at the two of you acting like children.
Exactly.
And then how did that end? Three-way?
Yes, I wish.
Wouldn't it have been terribly funny?
Oh, crazy.
So I have a crazy idea.
You want to hear a threesome story? I'm terrified of threesomes.
That would have been a good ending to the story that I know it never would have happened.
Yeah.
But that would have been the fun way to end the story. Well, if you were embellishing, that's absolutely how it ends.
Yeah. Well,
11-year-old would be like, yeah, nice.
Well, to be honest, I'm in LA. I matched a woman on Tinder, and very quickly she was like, hey, I'm married, but I'm in an open relationship.
Run.
Yeah, and then she was like, but my husband's okay if I mess around with other people. Also, my really attractive female friend wants to come over and have a threesome with you. And I was like, no.
They're going to rob you.
That's exactly what they're going to tie me up and steal everything I own.
I feel like if you've been on online dating long enough, you know that someone is going to tie you up and rob you.
Yeah, you see right through it.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, that sounds great. No.
This is a joke that I wrote, but I'm just going to say it because it's also truthful. My grandmother swears that every Tinder date ends in first-degree murder.
Every.
It's
a lot of murder.
I've been murdered so many times.
So many times.
Yeah.
I take all of my dates to the exact same place.
Ooh.
Well, not always, but I love sushi. I think sushi is the best first date food.
Okay.
If you're going to go food.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just going to do coffee, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I'm going to drag myself out of the house to meet somebody, I at least want to eat.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
That's
I have
fair.
coffee all the time.
Do you pay?
Treat myself. I always pay.
Okay. I'm like 50-50 on it.
I'm
like,
paying?
Yeah.
God, no one ever asks to pay.
I think like some people like hand their card.
No, never. I've had a lot of people go to the bathroom when the check like
no.
like obviously so.
Yeah.
Like, you can come back now. Like, it's over.
Yeah, text them like paid already, and they're
Yeah,
like,
we're
"All right,
done.
cool."
It's
Yeah.
good.
That was good.
Well, those are the ones that I never hear from again.
Yeah.
The ones who go and hide in the bathroom are the ones that I think are only going on the date for the dinner.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I felt like I've had dates come over just so they could have like a place to sleep for the night. That was a storyline on a TV show, and I think it was Broad City.
You're like, am I dating this person, or are they just homeless?
Yeah.
That could be.
It might have been Girls or Broad City. It was one
Maybe.
of the two.
So you thought that someone you were dating just had nowhere else to go?
Yeah, I think like my most recent date slept over because they needed a place to stay. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever.
You know what? We all have our thing.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? If it works for you, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So things are looking up for 2020.
I think so. It's been going well so far.
Do you have any more people you're talking to on the apps?
Yeah.
They were talking about something on the news that I did notice, and it was called First Sunday. Did you hear about this?
No, what's that?
The first Sunday it was like the first Sunday of the first of the year.
Mm-hmm.
All these people who have made resolutions to not be single get on the dating apps.
Oh, that makes
Right?
sense.
So all of a sudden, and I noticed it like on Sunday, Monday, I've been getting liked way more proactively than me liking someone and then liking me back. I'm getting a lot more unsolicited likes.
I noticed that on one app. On Hinge. Hinge, I was getting so many.
So many.
Oh, I didn't know why.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just like the other day I was kind of getting annoyed by it.
Yeah. Well, they were all people I don't want to go out with.
Yeah,
I was
same.
I was like, is this who I'm attracting?
Yeah.
And then I got sad.
Oh, no.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Fine.
We're doing...
After this video thing comes out, man, oh man.
Wait for those matches.
That's right.
I've been swiping the whole time.
Just swipe, just swipe.
Swipe,
just
swipe, swipe. I always think I'm going to get like carpal tunnels from swiping too much.
Yeah. They need to add that to the Siri or to the Alexa.
Left, right.
Exactly.
I won't lie. I started paying for Tinder because you see your likes, the people who liked you first,
Yeah.
and you don't have to do any work anymore.
Yeah.
All my homework is gone.
There's no question. Like, they're going to like you.
Yeah, when I watch dudes who are just like swipe right, I'm like, what are you doing?
There's a better way.
There's a better way. Pay $30 a month.
$30 a month?
It's a lot of money.
Is that how much it is?
Yeah.
You're investing in the Tinder.
Yeah, well, I'll just say I make $30 an hour at work, so I was like, you know what? It's just 1 hour of work for a month of fun.
Okay. Well, now we all know the secrets.
Yeah.
To Tinder. Are there any secrets to Hinge?
No, I'm bad
Do you have any
at
Hinge secrets?
I've gone on like 2 dates on Hinge.
Okay.
My last date on Hinge might have been a little awkward too, so...
What happened? Did you just get up and leave?
It
was a lot like at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Yeah.
I dressed like
And
Marilyn Manson, and I got up and left.
She dressed like Trent Reznor and only sang me acoustic covers of Nine Inch Nails songs.
Okay.
Yeah. But she did a cover of the cover Johnny Cash did of Hurt.
That's good. That's a great song.
She did a cover of the cover.
That's still fun.
Yeah, it was great.
I listened to that.
Yeah. The date was going actually pretty well. She got there first, and then she goes...
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it when they're early or they get there first. I hate the waiting.
Yeah, me too.
I always feel like I'm there for like at least a half an hour before anyone shows up. Like,
Okay.
I'll get there on time.
I'll get there on time.
They'll be a little bit late, like running late, and you're like, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But that feeling of anticipation and just sitting there by yourself is terrible.
I wait outside because I don't want the bartender to be like, oh,
Yeah.
what's this guy's deal?
Right.
Yeah, she got there first. She's already like half a drink in, and I was on time.
That's good.
So I was like, oh, she must be like super early. And then everything's going fine. The chemistry was pretty good, I thought. And then she gets up, and I hadn't realized this before, but she is incredibly short. Like 4'10" or 4'11".
That's very short.
Yeah, and I'm 5'9", so I'm not tall, but I'm like not short.
Yeah.
And I outwardly just said, "Oh wow, I didn't realize how short you are."
Ooh.
And I was like,
"That's not good.
Don't say that.
Don't say that out loud."
So everything was going great, and we were heading to get food a block away.
Okay.
We got food, but she like clearly changed the way she was reacting.
Yeah.
And then we got food and left, and I was like, "Oh, never going to hear from her again."
Yeah.
Did not.
Did not hear from her.
No, I just texted her. I was like, "Hey, let me know you got home okay." And then she goes, "Got home," and I said, "Good job."
Well done.
Yeah, and then never again.
Well, maybe you have to say something else.
Yeah. Maybe it's one of our like mutual. Maybe you matched the same people I did.
Maybe. Is that how it works?
I think so. I
feel like with the Bumble, I hate the Bumble because you match with people and then I don't like the deadline.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's only one day. It's like I can't do anything in one day.
No.
It takes me like a month to talk to somebody.
Actually, I matched someone the other day because our match got down to like 3 hours, and then they sent me a very charged email of our message. It was like, "So much pressure, I can't deal with this." That was our opening line. I was like, "Can't deal with what?" And they're like, "Having to message within 24 hours." And it was just like ranty, like 6-line rant about.
And then you were like, unmatched.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
This is the easiest thing I could push. I can push this button.
Yeah.
And I can just not have to deal with this.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah. Did your entire life with this person flash in front of your eyes. Like, if this is how we start things.
Yeah. You gotta start on a good foot.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Dating in New York is very complicated.
Yeah, I don't love it.
No.
Sometimes, though.
I come in waves. It's like I'll be really, really into it and into meeting people for about 2 or 3 months or less. And then I'm off for like 10 months. I'm just like, no. Or like, my longest, I was 2 years. I didn't go with anybody for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
I was like a monk.
Oof.
It was great. I saved
weeks.
so much money.
Yeah. I'm like 2 weeks of no dates, and I'm like, that's a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Ronny Pascale, you're just out there.
I'm just all like keeping myself to myself.
Do you meet people on Twitter? Do people slide into your DMs? Does that happen?
It's happened to me a couple of times where people tried.
Okay.
But I like felt very awkward about it.
It's never who you want to slide into your DMs.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
There was one woman who followed me on Twitter, and then we matched on Tinder, and I didn't know who she was.
Interesting.
And then she very quickly was like, "Hey, you're the Twitter guy."
Wow. You're getting noticed.
Yeah, we never met up, though.
Was she cute?
Yeah, she was attractive.
What happened? You could have used your Twitter celebrity to impress her.
I feel like such a douche when I'm like, I'm Twitter famous.
You don't have to tell. She obviously knew.
Yeah, well, like, in just, like, the general world of, like, I, like, tweet jokes, and people think I'm funny sometimes, so.
You got it. 2020, Ronny, has to be okay with that as a reality.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. I was going to write a solo show recently called Hi, I'm Twitter Famous.
That's funny. I would go to that.
Yeah, and talk about, like, how I use Twitter for validation.
Yeah.
And then also play, like, hashtag games with the audience.
I play hashtag games every Wednesday at 11 a.m. for Weekly Humorist. And it's fun. We play every Wednesday. It's a little bit laborious, but people love it.
Yeah.
People love hashtag games.
Yeah, I was curious if they're still cool and fun.
I do them, so they're probably not cool.
Yeah.
But we do them. I mean, there's a game.
I'll jump on yours.
Yeah, I'll send you a note when we start it. What are we doing this week? Ooh, so if you're listening to this, I'm going to give you an inside track on what the hashtag is going to be.
Ooh.
Is that okay? You think
juicy.
people...
Fun side note, I had a friend, so At Midnight taped like midday.
Yeah.
And then I had a friend who went to a live taping and accidentally tweeted...
The hashtag?
The hashtag like an hour early. And...
It ruins everything.
It ruined everything. I'm pretty sure they got banned. I don't know. This is all like hearsay, but I'm told they got banned. So
all right. Well, if anybody listens to this...
You're getting banned.
And tweets, I'll be very upset. But I want you to have jokes for tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
But just post them all at once.
That's fine. You can post them all at once. It's going to be hashtag moody menus. No, moody menu items.
Okay.
So it's going to be things you'd get at a restaurant, but you add a little depression or excitement or a mood to them.
Do you have one example that
I
you're
do not
excited
have
for?
anything ready to go.
Okay.
Can we think of something? I don't know.
Yeah. Moody. So do you have a process for how you do this?
I come up with a bunch of menu items, and then I get a bunch of emotions, and then I kind of see how they pun together.
Exactly.
So if we did something, maybe, let's say a menu item is halibut.
Uh-huh.
What's like an H mood?
Well, the first one that came to my mind is salad and sadder, similar. So
Sadder salad?
A sad lid.
Caesar sad lid?
Yeah, Caesar sad lid.
That'd be good.
There's something there.
Yeah.
That joke needs workshopping, but
Yeah, we'll do the rating of the jokes, and that might be a 2.
I do yeah, thank you. I'll delete it. I would do it differently in that just start with the emotion and then see, because I feel like the emotion is a little bit more specific.
So we could say manic, depressive.
A manic makes me think of mayo almost. Manic, or like also like I say the word slower and it like sometimes jars something out of your brain. Jars. Manic, and then sad or cry.
Okay, crying.
Cry. It's usually better with longer words, like 2-syllable words. I'm failing hard right now.
It's tough. I mean,
you could ban me from.
But I'm always so impressed with the Twitter people that come up with. I mean, they come up with such funny jokes, like stuff that I never would think. I can think of the hashtag, but then people come out with and they do it immediately. Mm-hmm. You know, like I'm sitting here. I give myself and a bunch of writers like 24 hours or more to come up with some like starter jokes.
Yeah.
And then the people that come up with them within 2 or 3 seconds, they're better than everything that took us 2 days to come up with.
Yeah.
And these are just people that play games for fun. Like, they're not comedy writers.
No.
They're just people that have regular jobs who just love writing pun-type tweet jokes.
They're funnier than we are.
They are.
We just chose to do this as a life because we're dum-dums.
Right. Or we just had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
We had no other talents.
Yeah.
We had no other options.
Yeah, both my father and my stepfather have, like, defensible talents, and I'm running around New York City telling jokes.
Could you just go and work at a pizza shop if you wanted to?
I think so.
That's nice. It's nice to have that.
Yeah, my brother runs it now, so...
That's awesome. You get free pizza for life?
If I go back to New Haven, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, and my brother's younger than I am, so that place is going to be around forever.
Oh, man, free pizza.
Yeah, I love it.
Do you just sit there and hang? Is it like a lot of place to sit down?
Nah, the seating area is outdoors.
Okay.
So it's mostly just takeout, and then if it's warm out, you sit outside.
So you can get a slice?
Yep.
You can get a whole pie?
Yep. He's actually famous for something called strombolis. Are you familiar?
Oh,
yeah. What we in New Haven call them stuffed breads.
Stuffed breads.
Stuffed breads,
You guys just say everything wrong.
Yeah, we say everything wrong. And everything is just like, what are you talking about?
Why do you call it stuffed bread, guys?
It's like a bread that's stuffed with food. So it's like a fancy Hot Pocket.
It is a very fancy Hot Pocket.
Yeah, so that's what he's famous for.
Stuffed breads.
Stuffed breads.
And what's the name of the place again?
Only the Best.
Only the Best.
Only the Best. West Haven, Connecticut.
Check it out.
Check it out.
onlythebest.com/pizza.
I don't think they have a website.
.gov.
They have a Facebook.
Nice. Good for them.
Yeah, their Facebook likes, they get like 2,000 likes on a picture of food.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going to like it today.
Yeah. I think they're idiots because they're not using like hashtag food porn.
I definitely use hashtag food porn whenever I do Instagram photos for food, which I do all the time.
I wrote a food porn sketch that crushed, and I was like, have I never done this the second time?
Really?
Yeah, it was just it was like a sexy 1-900 thing.
Yeah.
But it's like call now, and then instead of call now, it was like hashtag food porn.
That sounds great.
It's really uncomfortable, but like if you like just said what was happening, it was like, oh, this is normal.
Yeah.
But like just because it was the mapping of food and porn.
So what's coming up next for Ronny Pascale in 2020?
2020, got some shows in New York.
You gotta do some stand-up?
Go and do some stand-up. I booked some of my own variety show.
Okay.
For the sole fact of inviting other people to do my shows.
So this is going to be... So you're booking a stand-up show?
Yeah.
So it's going to be stand-up and music?
Whatever people want to do.
So it's for totally variety?
Yeah, so when I was with those two other guys, Kibbles and Bits, the 3-person improv group, we had I don't know if it was weekly or monthly. It was so long ago. We had a show called The Really, Really Cheap Date Show.
Okay.
And the reason being was I just wanted stage time, and I just booked this time slot, and then it was just like, oh, let's do this. And I, when I moved to LA in 2017, I put that show to nap.
Yeah.
Not to death, but to nap. And I recently discovered, why don't I do the show again? It'll be a good way to network, meet other comedians. Yeah. If I'm doing stand-up. Invite people, see who wants to invite me to their shows.
So where is this show?
This is at the Pit main stage.
It's a nice theater.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
January 16th and 19th on the Pit main stage. And
where can people get tickets?
thepit-nyc.com.
Excellent.
And then in February, I am going to Los Angeles for a week. And I have a couple of shows booked.
Where?
I have one show at the Clubhouse on a Sunday, February 8th, I want to say. But, they could just tweet at me if they're like...
A lot of places for people to see Ronny Pascale coming up.
Yeah, New York and Los Angeles.
Follow Ronny at Ronny Pascale on Twitter. He's famous.
Famous-ish.
So maybe he'll write you back, but probably not.
I generally try to.
Generally, you might just match up with him on one of the many dating apps.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to get in contact.
The easiest way to get Ronny is Bumble or Twitter.
My grandma can't find me, can't reach me on a phone, but she's having friends and local swiping on me.
Also know that if you swipe on Ronny, he sees it.
Yeah.
Because he pays for that extra Tinder bump.
Only on Tinder.
Only on Tinder.
So don't expect it on Hinge or... I did pay on Hinge for a little while, but...
It's a lot, isn't it?
No, Hinge was cheap.
Okay.
Hinge was $10 a month.
That's not bad.
No, I like it, but I like Tinder better because people are more willing to meet up quicker.
Yeah.
So.
Better investment.
I think it's more immediate fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to follow more. You should have. Do you ever tweet about dates, or do you try to keep it?
I try
general?
Not to.
Okay.
I don't want to be the guy who's like, Twitter or Tinder dates, they're the worst, right? Well, I do tweet about the joke. I tweet about myself. I never want to make fun of the woman.
Right.
One quick one. This is 10 seconds long. Matched a girl on Tinder, and what I do, this is years ago, and I've only just started talking about this, and so I'm like, I won't ever make fun of the person, but sometimes it's a little warranted, right?
Sure.
And so I matched someone, and then I did my little homework, found their name, and then I Googled, and we'll just say her name's...
We all do that.
Yeah. We'll say her name's Jane Smith, because I don't remember what her name is.
Okay.
Typed in Jane Smith, and then it autofilled. It was a little bit more specific of a name. Google said, Jane Smith Heckler, and I was like, what does this mean?
Oh, my.
Yeah. So I clicked on it, and there was a link that Jane Smith got so drunk at a stand-up show that she heckled a comedian to tears, and a Huffington Post writer was at that show and wrote an article about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some good research you did.
And then I went on the date with this person because I was like, I want to be heckled.
Or I just want to meet somebody who can do this sort of a horrible thing.
Yeah.
And what was she like?
Very nice, actually.
Oh.
Never heckled me, and I kept on prying at her telling me about this, but she never did.
How do you start that comment? Oh, so you ever get featured in the Huffington Post?
Well, I did mention the Huffington Post a bunch, and I was like, I can't remember what club she heckled at.
She's like, why does he keep talking about the Huffington Post so much?
Yeah,
what a weirdo.
Obsessed. Maybe she never knew the article existed.
Maybe.
Yeah. And then I was like, we'll say Comedy Cellar for the sake of the story. I don't remember which venue, but I was like, have you ever been to the Comedy Cellar? And she's like, yeah, a few times. But was very dismissive.
But I'm not allowed anymore.
Yeah. She would cut it off before that.
Completely banned.
Yeah.
From the Comedy
Cellar.
Yikes. Awesome.
Good times.
Great times. Great oldies.
Yeah.
105.7 WQSR.
The Rock 106.9 WCCC.
Love it. Ronny Pascale, thank you so much for coming in
Thanks
for
Talkward.
Having me, Marty. This is wonderful. 2020. How many more podcasts do you have to be on to hit your goal of 365 podcasts?
362 more.
So you've done
3.
You did. But this
is 3rd.
This is a very early part of the year.
Yeah.
How many are you booked on already?
I have 1 more tonight.
Wow.
I have 4 more for the rest of this week.
That's a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, and then I have friends who are like, come do my podcast. So I got a lot of
Are you running out of podcast things to talk about?
I've repeated some stories. But
What?
Like, I know.
This isn't 100% original Ronny Pascale
It's way
material?
more organic, though.
Okay, good.
I did a video game podcast yesterday.
All right.
And I don't game. So I used to, but I was like, what do I talk about?
Sega Genesis.
That's what I told them. I was like, if you want to talk about old school games, I
Yeah.
got you.
Like,
But,
let's talk about Hang On or Rampage or
Yeah, I'm down for Rampage.
Ghostbusters or...
I hated Ghostbusters, the Nintendo game. I had a glitchy copy, I think.
Oh, I had Sega.
Yeah,
Sega Master System.
Oh, I didn't have that.
Sega Master System was old school.
Yeah.
It didn't do anything.
I went from NES to Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis was good.
Yeah. Yeah, it was... They were like, do you have any questions for us? And I was like, yeah, I do. What games are you most excited for in 2020? So I was like, what cop-out question? And they're like, this part 2, because I loved part 1. I was like, oh yeah, good game. I've never played those games.
Is that like Afterburner?
Yeah, good game.
Good game.
Good game.
Sega Master System. Great game.
Loved it.
Great game. Spy Hunter? Great game.
That
was in an arcade.
I had that on NES.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's good. I used to love arcades.
Yeah, me too.
Great.
Barcade, fun.
Totally fun.
Yeah.
This is great. This is a lot of fun, Ronny Pascale.
Thanks, Marty Dundix.
I'm very excited. Follow Ronny on Twitter. Follow Weekly Humorist at Weekly Humorist and Talkward Podcast. We're sponsored today by Wisps Cheese Snacks because they sent me a bunch of them.
100 calories.
Eat them at your own risk. I hope you like cheese because that's all that's in them.
Eat them at your own wisp.
That's great.
What is that, 1 to 10?
Improv achieved. I'd give that a 10.
Thank you.
That was great.
Thanks.
We got to it.
We got there.
We made it.
We made it happen.
We're there. Thanks for listening. This was wonderful. This is Talkward. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Talkward. Please subscribe, follow us, and visit weeklyhumorist.com.